News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Hello and good morning. You're watching Morning Line on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Matthew Torres in for Nick Barris today. We are talking about a conversation and a topic that most of you may have a lot of questions about, and that is Social Security. So if you have any questions, any comments about this topic, Social Security, the number right there is on your screen, 615-737-PLUS. And if you're a regular watcher, well, that means you know my guest to my left, and that is Josh Horn with the Social Security Administration. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for waking up early once again. Again, Social Security, that is a big topic for a lot of people. Tend to have a lot of questions, really, throughout the morning, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we get a lot of phone calls every day and a lot of visitors every day. And we are a public service institution and a public service administration. And so we enjoy getting to see you guys every day and hearing from you. And I know sometimes you've got some tough questions for us. And I'm sure this morning, you know, you might have some tough questions for me. But we like that. We want to try to help whenever possible and educate, especially as you're preparing for maybe retirement or you know, what to do if you lose a loved one or something along those lines. So definitely get a lot of questions.
I'm meeting you for the first time. What do you guys necessarily do? And it's probably self-explanatory by now, but with the Social Security Administration, what is the goal? What do you necessarily do? Yeah,
and that's a good question. You know, a lot of times when I'm trying to maybe interview potential hires or just talking to people in general, and one of the questions I like to ask is, what do you know about Social Security? And most people will say, I know I have a Social Security card, and that's, you know, basically the sum of what they know, and that's okay. But we administer the Social Security programs, which include retirement, survivor, disability, and then also the auxiliaries or the spouses and children of those who are drawing benefits. And then we also administer the SSI, the Supplemental Security Income Program, which is another disability or aged program for those who are over 65 or those who are disabled. It's income and needs based, so it depends on how much income you have or any kind of resources like bank accounts and extra cards and things like that. So we, you know, day in and day out, we take applications for these programs, determine if folks are eligible for it and how we can help in any way. In addition to, of course, the getting you a card or a replacement card for various reasons.
All right, perfect. And we actually have our first caller already. All right, Tony, good morning. Thank you for calling. What is your question?
Yeah, I've worked with a company for 25 years, and I got hurt on the job, and I'm going this morning to see the doctor, and he's talking about putting me on permanent disability. How do I figure a rate, or how does all this work? Because this is all new to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you feel like you're disabled and you can't work anymore, that's one of the primary things that we do over at the Social Security office is take applications for disability. There's a couple of different ways you can go about it. For most Americans these days, they would rather, you know, they like to get online, and so we have a really easy online application for disability. If you want to go to socialsecurity.gov. And when you go there, there's kind of a window that says apply for disability, and you can go through there and it'll ask who your doctors are, what medicines you're taking, what happened, when this happened, some basic questions like that. You can also set up an appointment for us with us, and we can do that either over the phone or you can come into the office and see us in person, and we can help you fill out that application. But once we get that application taken, we send that over to the disability office, and they get a hold of all your medical records, and they look to see if it meets the Social Security criteria for disability, and then based on that, they make a decision. Now, Social Security is a 100% disability program, and it has to be expected to last for a year or longer. So for a lot of our folks that are coming in, they may be 80% disabled or 90% disabled even. I mean, very, very disabled, but it's not quite that 100%, can't do anything at all, or it's a condition that's expected to recover within a year. And so that's you know, a lot of times where we see folks who are denied. But you know, if you were injured on the job and you're no longer able to work, then I encourage you to apply.
So the criteria has to be 100% disabled.
Yeah, it's a very strict criteria, and that really, you know, a lot of folks, that's really kind of what gets them in as far as if they're denied and they're not allowed to get benefits.
Yeah. All right, thank you for that question. We have Lucy now. Thank you for holding. Lucy, what's your question?
Are you talking to me?
Hey, Lucy, that's right. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm in my mid-90s, and I've been drawing Social Security on my husband. And about 2 years ago, I sold some property. It was my home place, and now it's they're taking the deduction from my Social Security. I was drawing in the neighborhood of $1,200, and now it's in the neighborhood of $800. How long and why is that happening?
Thank you, Lucy.
That's a good question, and I'm a little bit surprised at how much it dropped. Now, I do know that sometimes what will happen is if you have a higher amount of income in a particular year, that your Medicare premiums actually will go up. Your Social Security benefits actually stay the same, but your Medicare premiums go up because of the income-related Medicare adjustment amount, and that's kind of evaluated at the end of every year based on your tax returns from a couple of years ago. But it's usually not nearly $400 difference, so I'm not sure what that situation is. And in this circumstance, I do recommend you might call in and let us take a look at your specific record and see what exactly happened, because that's a pretty significant drop.
And when you say call in, what is the number to call in?
Sure, you can call our 800 number. Basically is 1-800-772-1213.
All right, calls are coming in. Hey, Daniel, what's your question?
Yes, sir. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
All right, listen. I'm going to make this as brief as I can. I've got a little synopsis here, little scenario to tell you, but bear with me. I'm going to go as fast as I can, even though I'm fighting the case of laryngitis. Okay. I'm 100% class as disabled. This came back in 2007, gentlemen. And now I've been diagnosed with mental health, psychological mental health. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to go into diagnosis and everything else with Senator. We don't have time. However, I have to have a representative payee at that time. I still have to have one now to pay my bills and what have you. However, I've been speaking with my psychiatric doctor, my mental health doctor, and what have you, as well as somebody that would be take over as representative payee or something like that to affect my one that's taking care of me now is like a sister to me, but her schedule's getting full. And she told me the way you got everything set up, the way you're having her set up, and helping out with the annual reports, because I know it before, I've seen it before, and help her fill them out. She said, yes, you're still 100%, you may still be 100% disabled, but you should go to a hearing and see if you can't take it over yourself. Now, that hasn't been said. Let me tell you the amount I'm drawing. I'm drawing, as of right now, $1,038 a month. Let me tell you why I'm getting so much, gentlemen, and I'll be brief about this. Back 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, I'm on Cigna Health Spring. Here in Tennessee, Cigna Health Spring nationwide, they came out with a new HMO plan, which basically takes place in my Medicare. I don't have to use my Medicare card whatsoever, as well as cover my Part D prescriptions, as long as the hospital doctors are in the network, except for emergency care. But they have me file for TennCare. Now, TennCare sent me back a letter rejecting me and denying me for it. However, the reason I'm getting so much, gentlemen, is because TennCare is paying my Medicare deductible. My main question is this. Would that be possible according to 2 diagnosis, or would I take a chance of losing it altogether if I'm still classified? Or they still feel I'm classed as 100%, should they feel I'm still classed 100% disabled? Gentlemen, thank up. I will demute the TV and listen to what you gentlemen have to say. Have a good day. Blessings in Christ.
Daniel, thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks for your question.
That was a packed one.
There's a couple of main questions in there. One had to do with TennCare, and of course the Social Security program doesn't administer TennCare, but from what I understand, TennCare is an income and needs-based program, and if you're approved for TennCare or for the state to pay for your Medicare, sometimes that can affect your benefits if they choose to, especially if they choose to pay for your Medicare premiums. But the other question had to do with being a representative payee, and so when folks are approved for benefits, sometimes we need to appoint a representative payee to help them manage their funds. And over the course of time, the condition may improve a little bit, medicines may be better regulated, things may change a little bit to where you can actually manage your own funds and become able to do that. And so the process for trying to get yourself over your own check is to go into the Social Security office. We do have to have a face-to-face interview in that circumstance and let them know, hey, I want to apply to be my own representative payee or to receive my checks directly because of whatever reason, and we can do that. Oftentimes we'll get a form from your doctor that will confirm, you know, what we observe firsthand during that interview, and then we can put you over your own check. So, and I do highly encourage that, because signing a representative pay to somebody to actually manage their checks is kind of a last resort. We really don't like doing that, but you know, in certain circumstances we need to.
All right, guys, great questions. For those who are waiting, please hold. We'll get your questions as soon as possible when Morning Line returns after the break.